The unconscious incompetence. This is probably our worst enemy. This is the reason why a lot of us remain where we are and we don't grow at work. And this is why probably our growth rate is not the same level that we want. The unconscious incompetence means group of stuff that we are unconscious about, but we are incompetent by not improving it. Again, in life, there are so many things, so many things. Let's assume this is everything in life. And this is our awareness circle. This is what we are aware that exists in life. And this is what we know. This is the stuff that we selectively, consciously decided that we want to know about because this will help us in our professional life. There are other stuff that fall into this circle that overlap with what we know, and this a little bit of stuff that we know about but we don't actually aware how to do it, and there are stuff that we don't know we are unaware that we don't know, and this is the incompetence, unconscious incompetence. Why it's incompetence? Because this is a small area that if we knew probably will help us grow faster in our life. If we knew, we will do better job in our day-to-day. So as a result of not knowing it, it making us incompetent people. All right. So now as we know what is unconscious incompetence, how do we deal with it? How do we overcome it? There are three ways that could potentially help you minimize it. You will never be able to eliminate it, and this is fine. But what you want to do is you try to do whatever you can to minimize it and keep it to the healthy minimum. The first thing is self-reflection. And this is very important. This is when you sit and take time consciously and try to think, what are the areas that I would love in my career to grow fast in? What are the stuff that I do in my day-to-day that I think it can be more efficient? What are the things that I struggle with from time to time, but I just ignore them? And I try to identify these areas and try to research them, try to find solutions for them, try maybe to bring them up to some of my colleagues or my mentors or my managers and try to discuss, are you aware of any other way where I can do it so I can achieve better result? So when you do this exercise consciously from time to time, and this is less something that you need to do every day, probably do it once a quarter or once a half or once a year even. But when you do it this way and when you do it consciously, you will be able to identify some of the areas that you can improve on. And this is not something that will happen in a busy life. So in order for you to do this, you need to schedule it in your calendar. Take time, put it in a calendar, maybe once a month, once during the weekend, dedicate a couple of hours in the last week of the month and try to reflect. What am I doing in my career? What am I doing in my day-to-day responsibilities right now? What are the areas that I think could potentially improve? And then try to research in this area and try to find new ways to do them and much more efficient way to do them. That's the first one. The second one here is continuous learning. Continuous learning here in form of reading new books, reading new researches, follow the top in your field and try to listen to new stuff. You don't always have to look up a new topic that you need to improve because you know you have weakness in, because this is make you fix conscious incompetence. Now we're trying to fix the unconscious incompetence, the areas that we are not aware of. And this can happen whenever you dedicate every time from time to time and try to read a new book in your field. Try to, in either technical or soft skills, you will come across new piece of information. You will come across new techniques and new tools that you have never thought. This is something that you need, and this is something if you apply, you will do better job. So continuous learning, leverage your time to commute time and try to listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts from professionals in your career, and try to read physical books from time to time if you can, if you have the patience to do this. The goal here is not reading, the goal is learning. Whatever way that you think you can learn the best, try to use it, but you need to continuously learn. When you continuously learn, you come across different thoughts that you have not even thought that you would need. And then when you apply it, now you're overcoming the unconscious incompetence again in another way. The third part, and I believe this is one of the most easiest yet effective part, is seeking feedback. Why is the easiest? Because we are surrounded with people who have different set of experience, who are aware of a lot of stuff that we are not aware of. These can be our colleagues, our mentors, our managers, people even that we are helping to grow. That everybody knows something that we don't know. And for us to be able to improve on this stuff, we need to continuously seek feedback. And seeking feedback is completely different from being open for feedback. Being open for feedback means that if somebody came, told you feedback, you take it, you thank them, you act on it. But seeking feedback means that you continuously and you consciously and proactively go ask people for feedback about your performance. Go ask people and tell them and be specific. Tell them, I'm trying to improve this area. Any thoughts, any ideas, any suggestions for me so I can become better, so I can be a better colleague, so I can do this job faster, more efficient, with better quality. This is when I say seeking feedback. So you need to take control of this part and educating yourself and trying to minimize the unconscious incompetence by seeking feedback. And when you do this, you cannot just say, hey, any feedback from me or no. You need to adopt the personality that will allow and enable and empower and make people around you feel safe to give you the feedback. And this is very important part. Why? Because people tend to value relationship more than improving others. So if I have a colleague that I know they might be defensive, if I give them a feedback, they will take it personally. And maybe I will lean more towards, let me keep the relationship healthy, and I don't really have to try to improve him right now or her right now because it's not as important, it's not crucial, it's something minor. And then you miss out on the small things, that these things, when they accumulate, they can probably slow down your career growth, because you just like, your personality did not help, the way you react to your feedback did not help, the way you take it did not help. Maybe when you take it, you don't show that you actually acted on it, so it makes other people think that maybe you don't care. So why bother? Why taking the time? Because it takes effort. So you need to adapt the personality and make people around you feel safe to give you feedback. So when you seek feedback with a specific goal, they help you out and give you the feedback, and they don't fear giving you feedback, and they don't worry about the consequences. So 3 things to sum up. Unconscious incompetence is the stuff that we are unaware about. If we are to be aware about, we will be able to do better job in our career. And these are the stuff that we want to uncover continuously. And for us to be able to do this, there are 3 ways. One is self-reflection, taking time from time to time. Try to schedule it in your calendar to sit and reflect on your day-to-day responsibilities and see, are there any ways where I can improve? Are there any of these stuff that I found them a little bit too slow or too inefficient, or usually I screw up when I deliver any of the results in this area? That's number 1. Number 2 is continuous learning. Continuously read, continuously listen to audiobooks, continuously listen to professionals in your career and try to learn. Don't miss out on the new opportunities to be up to date and know what are the latest techniques and the latest technologies or the latest methodologies in the non-technical that can help you do a better job. Last but not least is seeking feedback. Seeking feedback is very important. Seeking feedback is very easy. You need to announce yourself in between your team and among your colleagues that you are a person who's open for feedback. Give them the safety that they need to be able to approach you, give you feedback, assure them that you take it and you don't take it personally. And when you go seek feedback, be specific. Ask for a specific feedback. Don't just give a blank statement of like, oh, I'm trying to improve, give me any advice. So be very specific. You will get a specific, actionable one. Thank you so much. That was the unconscious incompetence. I hope that was helpful.